Hello, everyone, and welcome to this event in partnership with Vita-Salute San Raffaele University. My name is Stefania, and I will be moderating this webinar on behalf of Docsity. So I saw here that our first participants have joined us, so a warm welcome to all of you. We're just going to wait a few minutes before we dive into our session to ensure that everyone can have the chance to connect. In the meantime, don't hesitate to say hi or introduce yourself in the chat here that you can find on Zoom. Furthermore, we're curious to know where are you joining us from, so please take a moment to share your location in the chat. And thank you again for being here today. We will start shortly, I promise. In the meantime, I just wanted to inform you that we got a Q&A session lined up after the presentation. So this is your chance to ask your questions to our panelists. So please don't be shy. Go ahead and type your questions and curiosities in the Q&A box here. We will be thrilled to answer them. And if you're interested in receiving the certificate of attendance issued by Docsity, stay tuned because we will give you more information after this presentation. And now, talking about the lineup in today's webinar, we will talk about the AMD program at Vita-Salute San Raffaele University, delve into admissions and gain also insights into students' experiences as they will share their stories about life as expats in Milan, Italy. And as you can see, I will not be alone. Here with me, there is a rich panel composed of professors, advisors, and students. So thank you for being part of this event, and thanks to all of you. And without further ado, I would say let's get started. So Professor Cianflone, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for this chance of disseminating what we try to believe, what we believe we should do right for our students worldwide with these English speaking MD courses. My name, as you might see, is Domenico Cianflone. It's not an easy name even for Italian, so don't be afraid not to be able to remember it. And I wish also to bring you the greetings of the program director and president, Professor Andrea Salonia, which unfortunately cannot attend right now, but I'm proud to share his sentiments with you all. Okay, now I'm going to explain you what this university is for and what is offering to international medical students. The complete name is Vita-Salute San Raffaele University. It comes from a long story, and the story actually started in 1996 with the opening of a school of psychology. Then 2 years later, School of Medicine, which is the area into which we're dealing with, and School of Philosophy, and eventually in 2010, the International Medical Doctor Program, which is entirely taught in English. The lessons, the practical sessions, the exams, the study, the clinical notes, everything. This is a very special university, as you can see from the different components which are meant to try to understand the human person in all its components, not only technical, not only biological, but as a person. So as we say, mind, body, and soul. And this university is an accredited university, and on the top of the most important national and international rankings for the quality of its education. Also, there is another feature we'd like to underline: the full integration of research, practical activities, and teaching for a medical education of excellence. So don't think of this like, okay, this is another university that I could do online. No, you cannot do online. And you'll see briefly how we mean this. A quick view and a map on two sides. Look at your left side of the screen. In red, you see the hospital buildings, which is very complex. It's a very large hospital, as we will see. And in blue, there are, I tried to put a pointer so you can see it, there are in blue all the buildings that host the university actually into campus, like around the clinical institution. And that's the initial sign of a very tight integration between the university and a very large teaching hospital. But let's go on. Try to understand which are the benefits of being at the Università San Raffaele. First of all, as I tried to mention, high-quality education that enables students to continuously develop their skills and gain national and international experience. And this goes through a number of steps: preclinical experience, track rotation, clinical lab experience, and additional project. We'll see some tracks into this. This is a very young and dynamic environment because of the number of students, because of the number of young researchers, and the number of postgraduate students, plus all your future teachers. There is also a sim lab, a simulation lab to allow students to gain hands-on experience and learn through a very tight, strict, and continuous teacher-student collaboration, which provides a personal support in building their academic careers. This is very important because you'll witness firsthand activities from bench to bedside, which is the process of taking basic experiments in the laboratory, after which the preclinical research is conducted in animal models, and trying to understand how this preclinical research eventually will translate over time to the care of patients. And finally, a very large amount of clinical studies in human of new drugs, new treatment strategies, new devices, innovation to help move research concept to the bedside to better treat patients with an open mind. I'll give you a couple of numbers, some figures to let you understand what we're talking about. On the top left of your screen, you see that there are over 1.5 million patients treated each year in this hospital in more than 70 highly specialized clinical units, and there are more than 30,000 surgical operations per year. Try to divide this by 360 days per year, and you get the sheer size of the amount of clinical work that is done in close cooperation, top of the screen, with more than 100 research laboratories. You might know or not that all research needs to be published in peer-reviewed journals. Peer-reviewed means the research submitted for publication is sent to blind arbiters that decide whether the research is good and reliable. And then the journal, according to their ranking, has an impact factor, meaning the research published in that journal is important for the overall community. Well, that number, greater than 15,000, is the top in Italy and among the top 5 in Europe. So to cut a long story short, the San Raffaele Hospital, IRCCS, if you're wondering, is a clinical care and research institute. Is the #1 research hospital in Italy, the #2 hospital for cardiology, and is a very well worldwide recognized institution conducting extensive biomedical research in many areas, in all the innovative areas like neurosciences, oncology, genetics, immunology, infectious disease, and cell and gene therapies. That's the advance of the current medical science. And San Raffaele is the only Italian member of the European University Hospital Alliance, which is a very selected group of hospitals and universities, which brings together the best 9 university research across Europe. The International MD program is a 6-year single-cycle program because MD studies are a 6-year single throughout Italy. Combines, according to comparison to other countries, bachelor's and master's degrees. Students admitted per year, not very much, 150 only. That will give you an idea on how close relationship between teachers and students can be done, with an almost equal distribution from EU and non-EU students. One key point, mandatory clinical rotation in the clinical years. At least 6 months. That means that the tight integration, the vicinity between the university per se, with the campuses and the hospital, is very simple. And we want our students to be hands-on, side by side, with their future colleagues, with the nursing scheme, with all healthcare professionals, with the patients.
Sorry,
Mandatory
Professor.
attendance. Yes.
We cannot see the slides. Can you try to share them again, please?
Okay, I'll share them again. I'll go for it. I'm sorry you didn't see them. I'll go, and here we are. Sure.
Amazing. Now it's perfect. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You should have told me ahead if they were not on. Okay. So since these are key figures, I go back 20 seconds back. We said, so you can, you all future students and future medical doctors can get a grasp of what we're talking about. A 6-year single cycle program. And we have 150 students admitted per year with an almost equal distribution between EU and non-EU. Mandatory clinical rotation, as you definitely heard. Mandatory attendance of lesson and clinical practice. Again, this is not a remote university, not online and not stay at home and study on yourself. This is a hand-to-hand with your teachers, both in the classrooms and in the hospital. Graduates receive a licensing degree. Licensing degree means that you can immediately apply for the Italian national postgraduate residency exam in the different specialty, in the different branches to get the postgraduate degree. Also, a graduate from the NDP program can register to any medical board in Europe, including the UK General Medical Council. In fact, the program enjoys recognition from the World Health Organization, the General Medical Council in Britain, and the ECFMG, the US Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates. And I understand that you are very well aware what these bodies are. Also, last but not least, the Italian lessons, Italian language lessons are offered for free during term time. And this is a great opportunity also to learn another foreign language. The curriculum. Last of my slides, so you stop bothering with my voice and we will have other speakers just after me, but there are some key points I want to underline. The International MD program offers complex courses to develop a critical all-around approach for students. From year one, from the very beginning, we adopt an early multidisciplinary approach with 3 mandatory elective courses: language and behavior, nursing sciences, and scientific research. And why is this? A good doctor in the future must be able to communicate with people, patients, relatives, the other healthcare professional, must learn all the basic of patient care, and be able to understand current and developing scientific research to deliver top quality medical science to patients and people. So we're going to keep actually students with theoretical and practical skills. Also, last but not least, once again, personalization and study plan. There are 4 specialized tracks from the 3rd semester for a highly peculiar learning and personalized education. A general track, medicine and surgery, translational research, and global health. Why are those? The general track allows students to tailor the study path by choosing elective courses. Medicine and surgery provide an early clinical exposure to surgery, to the clinical words. Translational research provides research experience, and you've seen the buildings, you've seen there are over 100 basic research labs, and global health is geared on public medicine and social health management, with thinking global, on a global perspective since day one. These 3 specialized track classes are small, max to 20 people, and students are selected according to the average grades. Okay, this is a very peculiar task that you can follow. At the end of 6th year, regardless of the chosen pathway, all students are awarded the internationally recognized title of medical doctor. And I repeat once again, this allows you to apply for registration directly to the medical boards of all European countries, UK included. And now I can pass over to some technical, practical details to my colleagues here that I see on the screen, and you see them all. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope to see you here in my classroom in the future.
Thank you, Prof. I will be sharing now the presentation. Once you turn it off, I will be able to access it.
I'm trying to open the access and stop sharing menu, which is hidden somewhere. Now, okay, and it's not coming up on my screen. So I'd rather disconnect and reconnect.
Okay, thank you very much.
There it is.
Okay. Okay, just a few seconds more, and I will be sharing the other part of presentation. Okay, okay. So here we are. My name is Anna Fabri, and I'm working for International Recruitment and Promotion Office. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit more about the admission to our MD program. I'm sure that Professor gave you an insight on our university and the program itself. So let's move to our requirements. To access the program, we create two cycles of admission each year. And currently we are having the second one, which is open till 15th of February. So you can register through our website and later on participate in our admission test. The admission test is mandatory for all candidates. So all of you have to do it, and there is no exceptions for students who are having upper degree. Because we are creating the ranking list based on your achievements, so based on your scores, and we have the specific number of 64 students if it comes to non-Europe candidates who will be later admitted based on their results. So you can participate twice, and of course we'll be considering only the best obtained score while creating the list of candidates. And then, as you can see, some dates here. So for non-European Union candidate, tests will be organized online on 23rd February and 24th of March. So you will still have some time to prepare yourself. And our test is similar to BMAT examination. So we'll find there questions on logic, problem solving, and reading comprehension, and later 24 questions on biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics.
I'm sorry. We still see the main page of the presentation and not the slide that you are presenting right now.
Oh, that's really strange because I can see the other one. Let me try again. Okay, let's. Can you confirm that you see the slides now?
Yes, we see it in the PowerPoint. So maybe you can try to move the slides here in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, 1 second. I will try to share the PowerPoint presentation.
No, because we don't see it full screen. We keep seeing just the PowerPoint.
Okay, 1 second, because I'm seeing it completely different than you do. Okay. Let me know what you are seeing now. Do you see the presentation or?
Yeah, the PowerPoint. So maybe you can just move forward in the PowerPoint without putting in full screen mode.
Okay, I will do so.
Yeah, perfect. Now it's going. Thank you.
Sorry for this technical issue, but I could see the presentation in completely different view than you. So yeah, as I mentioned, so you can see those details which I mentioned before. So the test will be on 23rd February and March 24. And to register, you can do it through our official website, UniSR. And later you have to pay 200 euros for a registration fee. And then you can participate in both examination. As I mentioned, only the best score will be considered while creating the ranking list. And the results will be announced on our website around 15 days after the exam. So let's say mid-April. So this is our main meaning of selection. Later, candidates who will be invited to enroll, they have to provide us with further documents. So here we are speaking about a high school diploma and minimum of 12 years of education. So those of you who are having 11 years of education, obviously you will need to or do 1 year of university extra, or you can try, in a few words, you have to sign up for university for at least a year to obtain the total of 12 years of education. Later, students who are providing some specific high school diploma, for example, US high school diploma, they must have 3 A-levels, which is mandatory. Or they can replace the 3 AP levels, with 1 year of education as well, so 1 year of college. There's also UK high school diploma that we have many students who are coming with. So also here we require 3 A-levels. And for students, if there are some of those who are completing IB, we are not having further requirements. So IB students can enter without any extra requirement. Then, due to the fact that the program is taught in English, we'll be requiring students of having C1 level of English. Obviously, if some of you complete your education entirely in English and you have this annotation on your documents or your diploma, of course, we'll be lifting this requirement. And here I have to mention that even though Italian language is not mandatory, we recommend students to start learning it from the beginning of the program. It's really important because you'll be accessing the hospital starting from the 3rd year, where you will be seeing patients. So it's really important for you to understand what they are saying and get the full experience of this program. So understand them and communicate. For those, for all students who are not speaking Italian, we are offering free of charge Italian language course, and you will be you suppose have obtained B1, B2 level of Italian language after the first 2 years. So it's so we are preparing you and we are giving you all tools needed to do so. Then some of you can ask how to prepare for our entrance test. So we are having tools that you can use during your preparation. We are not providing with syllabus because the test opt on your general knowledge obtained in the high school. So what you can use our online test simulator that is available on our website. It's a database of all questions from the past, so you can review them and obtain your results, so you can see how you are prepared and also understand the logic of the test. Then we have also preparation courses offer for all students. So we offer during the weekend and during the week time. And there's different intensivity of the course. You can do from 30 to 48 hours. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the test is really similar to our BMAT test. So you can use the books. So you can find this everywhere. So sample questions of BMAT that will prepare you really well to the examination as well. Later, I will focus I will give you only a few more details on enrollment. So normally students receiving a notification that or there is a ranking list published on our website that they are admitted. Since then, they are having about a week to confirm their place and pay the fee, like partial fee, about 1,500 euros. And then they have till almost September to provide the other documentation. So even though you'll be admitted, you have plenty of time to provide us with required documentation. And then even though programs start in October, we invite all students in the middle of September, welcoming them with some welcome week, where we provide you with other information or bureaucratic side of permit to stay in Italy and go on. So we are trying to help you as much as we can in finding yourself here in Italy. Then the last, but not last, the last is that the fee for this program is 20,000 euros, more or less, and it can be paid in 3 installments. So the first upon enrollment, and then you have still time to provide us with other 2. We know that university life is not only about studying, even though you'll be spending plenty of time in library or everywhere else, because this is medical program, but you can also share, you can also assign to some sportive groups or interest groups and meet other students from upper years. So you can spend your time a little bit outside or share some hobbies with the others. Like we have many students who are playing chess and they are finding it really nice, and we have also others who are playing tennis with the others, and it could help them a lot to find themselves here in Italy, meeting other Italian students as well. And also this is an extra training in your Italian language, so it can be really useful. So that's it if it comes to my part. Now I'll be inviting our students, ambassadors, to tell you a little bit more about their experience.
Hi, can you see us and hear us? I hope yes. Hi. Okay. Hi, I'm Andressa. Hi, I'm Alexandra.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
And we're all 5th year IMDP students. And yeah, now I'll tell you a little bit about like some student insights. So if we can go to the next slide.
Sure.
So here on the slide, you can see the clinical rotations that you can do during your studies. There are 4 types of them. The nursing, it's an elective course that you can do during your 1st year. You can do it like at San Raffaele Hospital, and the department will be chosen by university, but in any case, you can change it with your colleagues. The real clinical rotations start from the 3rd year onwards. You can do it again at San Raffaele, and again with the departments you will be assigned, but you can switch with someone. And then from the 4th year on, you can do tailored activities. And this type of rotations you can do or in San Raffaele or other Italian hospital or anywhere abroad. You can choose the department you want, the hospital you want, and that's it for tailored. The licensing internship, it's a mandatory rotation that you start from the 5th year. You're obliged to do it at San Raffaele, and there are 3 types of it. One is surgical, one is clinical, and one is GP. You choose yourself the department. You also choose yourself the time when you want to do it. And in order to start doing the licensing internship during your 5th year, you need to pass all the exams of your 4th year. Up until the 4th year. Yeah, up until the 4th year. We can move to the next slide. Anyways, there are other possibilities to attend the hospital. Usually you can ask any prof during after the lecture if you're interested in a specialty. But I advise you to do it during your 3rd or 4th year, because before it's a little bit too early. And usually university also organizes some extracurricular activities that you can book from 3rd year on. There's some pictures of us in the clinical rotation. Yeah, we can move on.
So I'll be talking about adapting to the city. Thankfully, our international office is very helpful, very welcoming, and they put us in contact with previous students who helped us a lot in adapting to the city, adapting to the university and stuff. They guided us a lot. So I don't think anybody will have any difficulties adapting to the city. But as previously said, coming here with, I would say, at least like an A1 level of Italian would be really beneficial for you. And you can do it by watching Netflix series, communicating with your friends when you come here, and of course the lessons that are held by the university. Milan is also a very student-friendly city, and there are lots of events at all times. And to keep up with the events, make sure to follow the website yesmilano.it. I think they also have an Instagram. If you have Instagram, follow them. And then, yeah, as previously said again, there are many clubs in the university, such as like an orchestra, like a chess club, a theater club, an art club. If you want to learn more about the clubs, you can check the link down there. We can move to the next slide. Thank you.
Okay, so I will be talking a little bit about finding a house in Milan, which is something I think that international students especially must be aware of, because Milan, as any other big city in Europe, has a bit of a shortage, I would say, and it's quite tough to find a house, especially in your 1st year. So what I would recommend is checking the residences that we have. There's 2 residences and you can find them in our website. And I mean, it's just a basic room with your own bathroom. It's a personal room, so you don't share it with anyone else. You do share, however, like common spaces, like there's a gym, there's a kitchen, and I would say it's enough for your 1st year until you find the good areas of the city where you would like to live. Then, other than the residences, there's NH Milano 2, which is actually a hotel, but it's extremely close, especially to the Milano 2 campus. And that's also very convenient for students. We have many friends that started there in their 1st year and are still there even in their 5th year because of how convenient it is. Other than that, if you want an actual apartment, you can join some Facebook groups. There's so many of them really, and you can find from shared rooms to private rooms to full apartments, which is also very beneficial. But of course, be aware that there could be some false announcements. So of course, make sure that you never sign anything or send any money or stuff like that before actually coming here and seeing the house. So I would recommend, if you can, of course, coming here once you get accepted, coming here before September, finding a house maybe in June, probably before July, honestly, like come here before, secure an apartment, because especially July, September, it's very hard since like there's a lot, it rotates a lot. So there's students coming in and students leaving. So I would say the period of September is already taken up. And if you want like a private apartment, you can always check like immobiliare.it or idealista.it, where you can find like, again, apartments. You can filter everything from like budget to like how many rooms you want. Anyway, I recommend that a lot. And for the housing, I think that's it. You can, of course, like connect with the international office and like ask them any questions you might have. And then some other like general tips from us to you is that we recommend you make friends from upper years once you get here, because they usually have like the best insights about, you know, everything really, from classes to professors, exams to, you know, how the department is. It's always a good idea. We recommend that you follow some interesting Milan bloggers on Instagram and TikTok, for example, like food bloggers, so you can, you know, you're coming to a different city, you can find some nice restaurants to go to, especially in your first year. You can like go out and enjoy the city more, I would say. And later, of course, it gets a bit tougher, but not that you can't do it. But I would say, especially in your first year, do this, because it also helps you to adapt, you know. And of course, like Milan, thankfully, there's three airports around here, and there's many cheap flights. So that's also a big advantage, I would say. Like you can take you know, a weekend, go somewhere else, you know, and just enjoy. Because it's also like you'll need a break, and we think that it's a good idea to do that as well. So yeah, I think that's it from our part. And if you have any questions, I think we will have a Q&A after. So thank you.
While we are accumulating Q&A questions, since I understood from the video director that some of the slides were not shared, I wish to share just one slide to give our viewers the view of how the site is. And I'm sharing just this single slide once again, and I'm happy and gladly doing it. Am I doing it? Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Because I was saying, okay, the hospital and the university are intertwined. The hospital is this red complex of different buildings. See this little square here? Actually, it is this white building over there, which is the emergency surgery building. This gives you the sheer size of the complex. These blue buildings are the two campuses, 1 and 2 down here, where they're named according to very famous and old Italian artists. Well, you know, it goes with being in Italy. Okay, this is very important. You see the close relationship. These other buildings are also the research lab. It's all intertwined. It's a big complex where we can live and learn medical science. Okay, the screen and the mic is back to you all.
Okay, I can see a few questions. So if it comes to dorms, I would just shortly reply to all of them. So we have 2 dorms located at our university. One is located at the campus, and the other is about 1 kilometer far, so about 7 minutes far away. And you can book them for whole year, and we really recommend those to first or second year students. But we'll send you those details in a follow-up email, so you will have everything there. And then I can see the other questions, like if the Milan is expensive, maybe our students will tell you a little bit more about this. So I give you a voice.
Okay, we think it's relative in the sense that it depends where you're coming from, but I'm from Brazil.
I'm from Russia.
I'm from Turkey.
Yeah, we're already answering the other question. For me, like it is. So I think it's relative, you know, it's a big city, it's in Europe. I wouldn't say it's probably cheaper than London, for example.
Yeah.
But it is more expensive than a smaller city in the south of Italy, for example. So just keep that in mind. But I think yeah, it also depends on how you live and like what you expect from this, like what are your habits, like if you're gonna order a lot of food, takeout, if you know, go, you know, it really depends on your lifestyle. And I think a good way to have an idea of this is maybe checking, for example, housing. Like in the websites that I told you about, you can check how much a 1-bedroom apartment costs a month. So that will give you more or less an idea. But I would say that your biggest expense will be your rent. Other than that, like it's not that much, you know. Food, it's okay. It's okay. I would say maybe even cheaper than, for example, Brazil.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and Russia too.
so I think the expensive part is your rental, but you can, depending on your budget, you can share a room, you can share an apartment, you can find your way around it for sure. But yeah, anything to add?
No.
Not really.
Okay, there's also another question about your experience here in Italy. So maybe also you can say a little bit more about this. Maybe also you can share some experience from the hospital or your rotation, how you found yourself also here at our hospital, so they can know a little bit more.
You want to start?
No, go.
I would say we were a bit of an unlucky generation, unfortunately, because 2 years was wasted in COVID. But besides from that, the experience has been positive so far, but that's mainly like thanks to the international office in the start. If they didn't support us this much, if they didn't put us in contact with like other students, with the upper year students, if we didn't have like buddies to contact, I'm sure that it would be pretty tough to adapt to a new city, just like in anywhere else in the world. But yeah, so far it's positive because it's a very like lively city, especially if you like history and art, you love it. It is a bit small, of course, but there's many towns nearby. Like you can hop on a train and go to Como in like what, half an hour, maybe 25 minutes. So there's a lot to see nearby as well.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, especially with traveling, I think that Milan has like a very nice location. So for like in half an hour, you can be at Como Lake, or maybe in 2 hours, you can go to Turin, which is another beautiful city. Like 2 hours, and you can be like in Bologna, which is like a center like of Italy. Like you can also experience some different food and something else. So there are lots of possibilities to do some escape trips during weekend in order to like chill a little bit after studies. For the hospital experience, I mean, like I find myself pretty okay with it. I started my thesis internship, which is like not the clinical rotation that I was talking about. It's something that you need to do in order to write your thesis by the end of the 6th year. And I mean, like, I like my department. So there are like, of course, some pluses and minuses, but since it like really depends on like your relationship with the doctors, relationship with the residents, I think that it's possible to find like a place that you will like. I don't know what to add else about the hospitals thing.
I would just like to add, the good thing is you can, for example, imagine you're in between like cardiac surgery and vascular surgery. You can like write to the professors, and then you can be like, oh, I'm like, this is my name, I'm on the 4th year, can I visit your department? Like, I'm interested, I'm trying to find out what I like. And then most of the time they would say yes, and then you get to like follow, you get to shadow like the residents and the doctors to see what they're doing and stuff. And if you want to leave, you can like leave anytime. You can just be honest.
Yes.
Like they're pretty nice, they're pretty chill about it. So in that sense, it's a big advantage, I would say.
Yeah, like in my case, I even didn't write an email to a prop. I just went to the department and asked the residents if I can shadow her. And because I was interested and I was in doubt, and she said yes. And like after a while, you get some experience, you make acquaintances with the doctors there, so like it's okay.
Okay, I will just add, since like we've kind of drifted apart from the topic of how was the experience of living abroad, just to mention like that it's very international, so don't be scared if you don't speak Italian, because you will most likely find someone speaking English like anywhere you go, like in restaurants, coffee shops, anywhere basically. Here, of course, in campus. And another thing that I think was worth mentioning is that the public transport system here is very good. So I think that helps us a lot, international students, to adapt, you know, because we're very independent. Thanks to the transport system, we can go anywhere without needing a car. So that I think definitely is a big help. And yeah, also the fact that there's so many international students with us, so that also helps, you know, for us to adapt, to make friends. But of course also like it's half and half, so we also have many good Italian friends here. So yeah, all of these I think helped us in our experience.
Okay, we have other questions like when actually you are starting practice in a hospital. So I don't know, maybe you can cover it as well, because they couldn't, some students couldn't understand how it exactly works. So if you start practice or observation periods in a hospital and how it works, so if you can give them some details, would be very helpful.
Okay. I think it was your part.
Okay. As I said, for example, in first year, you can have like a nursing elective, which I don't know like about it, since I didn't have it, because the program changed a little bit during time, since I'm already in 5th year. But usually starting from the 3rd year on, you start this rotations. And in most of the surgical departments, you're doing an observership, while in some clinical departments, you may get some of the practical experience, but for the surgery, it's only observership. If it was your question.
If I may add, getting your hands on a surgical table requires, first of all, that you are an MD first. Okay, but the basic clinical skills for a medical practitioner that gets his license after graduation to open up a practice or to work to another hospital, to understand and start visiting patients, checking their signs and symptoms, and understanding which simple or complex examination it needs, from a lab test of a specific kind to a complex CT scan of the chest, for instance. Well, these are skills that are learned throughout the 6 years. Then, and I link to the next one, can I get specialized in anesthesia? And that answers this general path. Well, in the attendance to the clinical world, as our future doctors here that you see on the screen have explained, you get in touch with the director of the unit saying, okay, I would be interested into doing some tailored activities over there, and then eventually ask for a thesis internship. So you live side by side with the physicians and students and interns of that unit, you write up and cooperate through a research thesis on the theme, which is anesthesia in this case. When you get your MD degree, you can apply to the national exam for postgraduate specialty residency, which in Italy are 4 years for the medical specialties and 5 years for surgical. So this, I hope this explains a little bit more.
Okay, perfect. I see that we have many questions. So the last one for students, because there are some technical questions. So on certificate, we'll be sharing with you admission information as a follow-up email. So we'll receive those information. And about the recognition and the others, we ask you to write us directly so we can provide you a specific information. But so now let's focus on the last one for students. So a typical university day. So tell us a little bit more, guys. What do you do? Just share some insight with students.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been designated to talk about it. It's very variable in the sense that in the first 3 years, we don't have the clinical classes. So we have, biology, physics. So we will be the entire day in the classroom, not necessarily the entire day, but we don't really go to the hospital, for example. But starting on the 3rd year on, we already have the clinical rotation. So it will depend. There might be, for example, weeks where we have in the mornings activities in the hospital, and then in the afternoon we have classes, which is also what we're doing right now. For example, we go to the hospital in the morning, then in the afternoon we have classes, and usually it happens like this. Either we have practice in the morning or the afternoon, and then classes the other way around. So they are in contact with each other in the sense the secretariat plans it accordingly to our schedule, so that they don't interfere with each other. And yeah, they're organized by the university. So it's like this. What else can we say? A typical day, I mean, the campus has restaurants, they have coffee. So usually we, at 1 p.m. we go and we eat something either from the restaurant or there's also a supermarket here, Carrefour. There's pretty much, there's a nice bar that we can hang out. It's very beautiful. We can have a coffee if we don't have a class. That's what we do a lot of the times. There's a nice sitting area where we can not only, we can socialize a little bit with our friends. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And then of course we go home and you have to study. Yes. Yes. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, I think, I don't know if Prof want to add something, but I think we'll be ending this webinar for today. So yeah, thank you guys for all your insights and everything. It was pretty useful. And yeah, the other questions definitely we'll be covering in follow-up email, and obviously we'll be providing you with our personal email where you can reach us. We can reply to all your specific questions. So don't worry about this, nothing will be missed. And yeah, I will leave a voice to Prof if he wants to say something.
Okay, final greetings, and thank you for listening to us and for being so active in the Q&A, which does not happen very often in this kind of events. In summary, we try to explain you this is a one-of-a-kind university clinical academic institution. And you're living, well, I'm Italian, I must advertise, in one-of-a-kind city, which is very international because it's plenty of students from 6 different universities on all branches. So if you have to tie yourself to your seats and study instead of going out and socialize. Last but not least, you might have even the chance to learn another language, which is Italian, which over the years in your life might be useful for a truly international doctor. So apply and study and pass the admission exam. We're waiting for you.
Okay, thank you, Professor, and thanks again to our panelists to be with us today, and thanks to everyone to have joined us, to have been so curious and responsive with all your questions. I hope you learn a lot in this webinar, and that actually this webinar helped you to discover more about San Raffaele University. So if you're interested in receive our certificate of attendance, you can click in the link that I just sent in the chat. So keep in mind that we will share the recording with you in the following days, so check your email. And thanks again, everyone. I hope to see you again in the next webinar. It was a pleasure for me. Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.